Right here, sir. Ms. Crawford.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Juror number 4, you said that you recognized another juror when you came in on Friday or today?
I thought it was just anybody in the courtroom in general.
Oh, okay. All right. Who did you recognize in the courtroom?
Actually, the judge.
All right. Yeah, because you wrote down you went to high school with his son. Okay. Have you ever been over to the judge's house? Okay. Would you consider yourself close friends with the judge's son?
No, not spoken in
Not.
a number of years.
Okay. All right. Is there anything about that fact that you recognize the judge and have that kind of connection with him? Anything about that that you think would weigh on you one way or another if you were a juror in Judge Adams' courtroom?
No, I just simply stated it because it was asked.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And you also let us know that you have a concern about missing so much work.
Yes, that, and I start school in about 2 weeks.
Okay, about 2 weeks. Do you remember specifically what day you start school?
I don't.
Okay, about 2 weeks from about middle of August? Okay. All right, let me ask you first about work. You're a security officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have, does the company where you work, do they pay you for jury days?
No, ma'am, no compensation.
Okay, did you check on that before you came? And you never did? Yeah, I suspect you did. All right. And if you were on the trial for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, what does that do to your financial situation if you are not working during that time?
It just gives me an extremely tight budget to work with.
Okay. And I'm not asking to pry, I'm just asking so that the judge can make a determination about it. If you are starting school in a couple weeks, would you not be working during that time that you were at school, or do you adjust your hours so you're still working full-time?
I do both full-time.
You do both full-time? Okay. Where are you in school?
Jordan College.
Okay. And how many classes are you scheduled to start in mid-August?
9 hours.
9 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you got 9 hours, and you got how long? You're working a 40-hour week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what Georgia Perimeter's, what their policy is about if you are missing classes due to jury duty?
No, I've not had this situation come up before.
Yeah, why not? All right. Do you live by yourself? No, you live with your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you are, and your mom is working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you do for some reason have a reduced income for a couple of weeks, does that impact you all so much that
I am the primary financial provider.
You are?
Yes.
okay. All right. Okay, thank you. No, you got more. Sorry. And you work, you have worked in the Dunwoody area?
I actually do off of Hammond Drive.
Okay. And is that just your routine? That's the property where you work? Okay. How long have you been assigned to that property?
Since May of last year.
Okay. You said that you heard something about the case before you came in Friday to fill out the questionnaire. So it was sad for the child, or you had some, just that? Okay. Do you have any opinions one way or the other about the guilt or innocence?
Enough to do so at this point.
Yeah, okay. Do you know enough about the case that when you're in Dunwoody, you've got any sense of where the crime occurred or anything like that?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Tell me a little bit about your opinions about the criminal justice system in general.
I do feel that at times it's biased towards different ethnicities.
Do you think at times it is biased against certain ethnicities?
Yes.
Okay, and what ethnicity, if you know, or can tell me in particular?
Specifically African American males.
Okay. Is that based on, what information is that based on? Like experience
Just
with
my
your friends?
observation of
Okay.
previous cases that I've seen.
Okay. Do you think that any opinions that you have or the experiences or what you know about that situation, do you think that would weigh on you one way or the other if you were a juror in this case?
I don't.
Okay. Anything about, anything else about your general feelings about the criminal justice system that you think would make you lean one way or the other if you were sitting in a case like this? Okay. You had a tragedy in your family about your cousin.
Yes.
Okay. And where did that occur?
City of Atlanta.
City of Atlanta. All right. When did that happen?
Over this summer, I believe it was, earlier this year. April or May.
April of 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm sorry, there has been an arrest, but no trial yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you, beyond your family's involvement in it, are you involved in that case at all? A witness, anybody from the state talk to you, anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Do you get a sense from your family, the information you have, about how the case has been handled by, I guess, the APD or the Atlanta Police Department?
No, I don't speak to them often enough to
Okay.
get their opinions on it.
You don't have any information about how somebody else in your family might feel about it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you so much.
1 second. Mr. Black, ask questions?
Sir, and I apologize, you were somewhat soft-spoken, so I want to make sure I understand what you were saying. In your job, if you were to sit on this jury, you would not receive compensation as a result during the period of time that you were sitting on this jury. Is that correct?
That is.
Okay. Would that weigh on your mind if you were actually selected to sit on the jury?
It certainly will.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that while the evidence was being presented, in the back of the mind you would be thinking, I'm not making the money I need to make to survive?
Yes.
Okay. And you are also starting back to school very soon, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I did not hear the specific date that you actually go back to school.
I'm not exactly sure, but it is either the second or third week in August.
Okay. And are you going to be taking classes during the day?
Yes, sir. Well, evening.
In the evening?
Yes, sir.
So if the school would not necessarily be interfered with if you were to sit on the jury and the trial were to go into that time frame, is that correct?
Not necessarily my class time, but study and homework time would.
Okay. And do you believe that would interfere with your ability to focus and concentrate on the facts of the case as well?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to Georgia Southern for a period of time?
Yes, my first 3 years undergrad.
Okay. You indicated that in regard to beliefs about the criminal justice system that you believe that there is something of a double standard. Could you elaborate on that, please, sir?
I don't feel that the same resources or generally just the how can I say?
Let me just ask you this. Do you think black folks are treated less equally than white folks in the criminal justice system?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay. And did you follow the recent case down in Florida with Mr. Zimmerman where Mr. Martin was the victim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did that confirm your belief as to the inequity or unfairness of the criminal justice system?
Not necessarily due to those factors.
Okay.
Race.
You understand that do you believe those feelings apply specifically to DeKalb County?
I can't say that. I can't speak and say that I've got anything to base it off of, no.
Okay. And obviously Mrs. Sneiderman is Caucasian. Would that have any effect on your ability to decide this case fair and impartially?
No, sir.
Okay. You would, if you had to sit or got to sit on the jury, would decide the case strictly based on the facts that you had heard produced in this courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had had a bad experience with the police, or someone had a bad experience with the police. Could you tell us what that was, sir?
On several occasions, I've been profiled and illegally stopped and searched.
Okay. Was that here in DeKalb or was that elsewhere?
Once before in Clarkston and a few times in Statesboro, Georgia.
Okay. And do you believe that that was primarily by virtue of the fact that you were African American?
Yes, my parents.
Okay. And did that ever result in any sort of complaint that you might have made to a police department about that kind of behavior?
No, not at the time. I can't say that I was fully informed on how to exercise my rights at the time.
Okay. Would it be fair to say it was more of a nuisance than anything, or was it something more than a nuisance in your mind?
Because it never really resulted in anything drastic, I'd just say it was a nuisance.
Okay. You hadn't done anything wrong, so nothing happened as a result, but nonetheless, you got pulled over because you were black. Is that a fair statement, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you think that experience would have any effect on your ability to sit as a fair and impartial juror in a criminal case?
I don't.
Okay. You volunteer for something called the Pittsburgh Community Group. What exactly is that, sir?
It's just a community service center that serves the Pittsburgh community area in Atlanta. I just did some basic volunteering as far as community cleanup.
How often do you do that?
Actually, it was only because I had court-ordered community service.
Okay. Given your conflicts with both work and possibly school, do you think you would be able to devote complete attention to this case if you were selected to sit on a jury, or do you think your other concerns about, one, not making money, and two, going back to school, would affect your ability to focus on the case?
If I had no option otherwise but to be here, then I would devote my attention to it fully.
You could just speak up just a tad, sir.
Said if I had no option otherwise and I had to be here, then my attention would be fully focused on what it is I'm here doing.
Okay. You said if you had to be here, had no option otherwise. Okay. So you think you could, under the circumstances, pay close attention to the case, even if it interfered with your ability to work and go to school?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Please follow the instructions of the clerk. What state's position?
This juror is acceptable to the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Quinn?
Acceptable to the state, or the defense, Your Honor?
Qualified.
Your Honor, just for future jurors, if there's a hardship issue raised like this juror's was, would the court want an opinion about it, or you're making your own determination and we don't need to draw it to your attention?
Councilman, I understand what you just said, but are you making?
I'm not making a motion towards this juror at all. I'm just, he expressed some concern about a financial hardship, and I wouldn't make a motion based on it, but I did want to draw it to the court's attention.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You can remain standing, juror number 5. You may proceed, Ms. Crawford.
Juror number 5, you care for your elderly mother every day, is that right?
Yes.
Can you tell me about what your day-to-day involves with caring for your mother, and how that might be a problem if you were a juror in this case?
My mother lives on the other side of town, northwest Atlanta. She's 89, she'll be 90. And she refuses to move out of her house.
Okay.
So I go from my house every day in the morning to give her her medication. What I did today, I left her medication on the porch last night. Last Friday, she couldn't find it, so she didn't get it. So that's what I do. She has a pacemaker, and I would force her, but that battery is being drained with any type of stress. So I just go every day to give it to her.
Okay. And is there anybody else in your family or who lives locally that could do some of the things that you would normally do if you were expected to be here at 9 o'clock every morning and that you couldn't leave until 5 o'clock at night?
If I have to be here at 9, I would do it myself.
Okay. Would that leave enough time for you to?
I just have to make it work.
Okay. All right. And I'm noticing just in your demeanor, and I'm saying that so it's clear for the record. Does that put some anxiety on you? Is that stressful for you?
To drive across
to have to manage
Do it.
what you need to do with your mother and then be here at 9 o'clock. Is that something that can work, or is that something that's very stressful to you to think about doing?
It's all stress. I probably wouldn't, it's just life to me.
Okay, okay, so that's something you think you could manage?
I'd have to.
Okay,
I just do what I have to do.
okay. All right, I'm just trying to figure out if it's too much to ask you to do.
It would be too much if the battery drains and, they don't know when, hopefully. But, we've been waiting for a while, so.
Okay, is there anything immediate, any doctor's appointments or anything in the next 3 or 4 weeks that that involving your mother that you need to be there for would be a conflict if you were here?
If she has to have a surgery, I have to be there.
Okay.
My brother's in North Carolina, but he will come
But right now, no surgery is scheduled.
right now. So
Do you have a time frame for when her pacemaker might require surgery?
it would depend on the next, how they call and
Yeah.
do a pacemaker check. It would depend on
Okay.
the next check
Okay. Is the next check scheduled
in August.
in August?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when in August? Early, middle, late?
I don't know. I would guess around the 9th, 10th of August.
Okay. Okay. All right. Was that you let us know about that situation in the questionnaire, and you also raised your number when the judge asked about conflicts or hardships or something that would make jury service difficult. Is that the situation you were talking about, or is there anything else?
No, that's the situation.
Okay. All right. Did you recognize somebody in the courtroom or in the jury pool?
The guy said that he knows me, and I think he's the man. When I look back, maybe he's the guy that put my oven in it. I'm
Okay.
so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed with that. Because he looked like, I didn't know. And
Okay.
I think that's who he is, but I'm searching. I'm really trying.
Okay, so if it's not immediately coming to you, is it fair to say that if you and this person were on the jury together, that your relationship is not so close that that would impact you one way or the other?
If he could tell me who he is.
Did you happen to
I
get
don't
his
know.
number?
I just know he's sitting
He
in
was
the
sitting back
corner.
there? The
24 or something like that.
okay. All right.
And you think he may have put your oven in?
Yeah, I had an oven, and they couldn't fix the oven. I think he's the man who came and told me that he could not repair it.
The question would be, are there any hard feelings between you and the man who may have put the oven in?
No, he helped me.
Did you pay him?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he really did help me because he could have drained
But I'm
me.
saying there's no dispute between you
Oh,
and
no.
that man possible.
No,
So if you and him were on the jury, you could serve with him,
Oh,
and he could
yes.
serve with you.
yes.
And you just know he was sitting in the corner back there somewhere.
He was on the first row,
On the first row in the corner,
in the corner.
where the gentleman in the blue suit, blue shirt is sitting
Yes,
there?
he
Okay.
said that, yes,
That's not,
right,
well, it's not him, but,
yes,
okay. That's fine.
okay.
All right.
24. Awesome. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right. And you have one son who is self-employed.
Yes,
Is that right? Okay. What does he do?
he has stores, cell phone stores in Columbus,
Oh, okay. Columbus, Georgia.
yes.
All right. At one time, had he applied to be a police officer,
He
or
did.
thought about going?
In Atlanta.
Okay. And why did he end up not doing that? He just changed his mind, or what happened that he didn't end up going through
I
that
don't know, it
course?
was something with the last step,
Okay.
but he just wasn't selected.
All right. Is he happy with what he's doing now?
Just opening up a store.
Yeah.
He's pretty happy.
Good. All right. You let us know that you had heard something about the case, but you don't have an opinion. Is that right?
I just had the TV on, because I don't like watching all that stuff. And they just happened to be saying, I thought, wait a minute, that's what I went to on Friday. So I just happened to pass by the room that the TV was on. So
All right.
I did.
Before you had come in on Friday and filled out the questionnaire, had you heard anything about the case or known anything about the case before that?
Just in passing, nothing, because it's embarrassing. I don't like all that.
Yeah. All right. Has anything that you did hear in passing on Friday or any time over the weekend, has that changed your opinion at all? Or the fact, I guess, that you have no opinion. Do you now have an opinion where you didn't before?
I didn't.
Didn't even pay
Because
that much attention?
The PowerPoint said you're not supposed to.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now you are a reading specialist, is that right?
Well, I retired,
You're retired?
yes,
Okay.
and I have a part-time job
Okay, and what's your part-time
with
job?
UGA, it's an educational specialist.
Okay. And do you teach a class, or you're involved in the education department there?
No, I will support teachers.
Support
in
teachers.
Catholic schools.
All right, great. All right, thank you so much.
Ms. Morgan, or Ms. Booth? Ms. Morgan?
Thank you. Juror number 5, you said that if chosen on this jury, you will need to drive from Stone Mountain to northwest Atlanta and then back to court every day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And without going into either your address or your mother's address, approximately how long a drive is that in the traffic in Atlanta in the mornings?
Well, I try to leave early, so I would say about 20 minutes over, maybe 25, depending on how I can weave through
And
Decatur.
this is medication that must be administered daily to your mom. There's no one else available to do it but yourself. Is that correct? But
Yeah, that's my aunt, no, they can't really do it. I'm the one,
okay.
I am the one.
And so you would be able to go from your home to northwest Atlanta to the court every day and still be here by 9. She does not need evening care, is that correct? Would you go back?
She does, but my mother refuses, so.
Okay, I understand. I don't understand pacemakers at all. My understanding is your mom's pacemaker is at the end of its life and there may be surgery soon. I mean, that's something they don't plan ahead for.
They have a battery, and the battery has to be replaced, and it's time for hers to be replaced. It's replaced something like every 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years?
Right.
Okay, so there's nothing imminent that you're aware of that she would need in the next couple of weeks. I remember the prosecutor asking you a similar question. I just want to make certain there's nothing that you're aware of that is imminent in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as far as you know.
Other than the phone check, and if the battery's down, then she'll have to have the surgery. So,
And did I understand that you would go to North Carolina for the surgery?
no, surgery's here. My brother's in North Carolina, so he
Okay.
will come. He's going to come. So,
Okay. And is this an outpatient type surgery if it were to happen?
not at her age.
Not at 89?
For some
I can't-
strange reason, no.
Okay. You've got some good genes, juror number 5.
Yeah,
You were 20 years with the DeKalb County school system, is that correct?
at least.
Okay. And it's a reading specialist. Was that elementary or middle school or high school?
Elementary.
Okay. And now you're teaching the teachers, I understand, for Adderhold?
Well, I was in administration too, so I was a coordinator for 10 years in the CAB.
Were you a reading specialist coordinator?
Yeah, ELA they call it, English Language Arts.
Yes, ma'am. And based on the juror questionnaire, were most of these Title I kids?
I've worked all over the CAB, but basically on the south end, so that's Title I.
Okay.
South end is my area.
And also on your questionnaire, you are currently also continuing your education.
Yes,
Okay.
I just can't stop.
Well, congratulations. And is that something that you're doing currently? Are you enrolled in classes or are these classes online? I mean, how does that work? And would this in any way interfere with your ability to serve as a juror?
Well, I hope to defend, but supposedly I have a date, but we'll see. I have to be ready. I'm ready to defend.
Oh, are you defending a dissertation?
Yes.
Okay. And is that scheduled in the near future?
Well, they've given me a tentative time, the 13th through the 15th, but you know how it is. You got to be ready. And I'm not, I need a meeting with my chair, so we'll see.
Yeah. The 13th through the 15th of August,
Yes.
you need to be prepared to defend a dissertation?
If she hasn't seen it yet, so she needs to see it. And she hasn't read it yet, and then the editing process. So I'm hoping.
Well, good luck. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Juror number 5, let me make sure I understand a couple of things. Let's start with the latter. You're saying you're possibly scheduled to defend your dissertation between August the 13th and August the 15th?
Yes.
And when was that scheduled? Has it been scheduled already?
Well, what the chair does, she'll say possible date. She wants to get me through.
Sure.
I've been working on it a very long time. So that's what we're hoping for, but she hasn't seen what I've done. She hasn't seen chapters 4 and 5 yet. So I'm supposed to meet with her this Wednesday.
If you are on this jury, is it possible for the dissertation, presentation, or defense to be put off for September or later? And would it impact your ability to earn your PhD adversely?
I don't think it will impact it.
That's the first. The issue about the pacemaker that your mother has,
Yes,
and I understand everything expires.
right.
Are you representing that it's near the end of its battery life this month?
They have been saying that,
Who's they?
Piedmont,
That's a
at
hospital.
the
Got
hospital,
it.
the pacemaker clinic.
Correct.
They have been saying that, I know, but it lasts 4 months. So what they do, when she goes, they'll look at it, but this time he said, I really think that it's going to have to be changed.
All right. As we are here today, or within the last week, have you or your mother been notified when it's going to be changed?
No,
Do you have a time frame when this procedure may have to take place?
not really, nothing in writing, nothing concrete. You only have the word of the person who did the actual test. And he said, just looking at her, he felt like the time was growing short and that she would have to have it changed. That's where that came from.
Oh, I
But as
understand.
far as a date or something in writing, the doctor said, no, I don't have that.
But you understand the position the lawyers and myself are in. I got to understand because
Yes, I do.
and I'd say either we need someone who can be available and focus on this particular case for the next, I'm using a time frame,
Right,
let's say 3 weeks.
yes.
As you hear with me right now, do you anticipate that this procedure will have to take place within the next 3 weeks?
If I had to bet on it,
Well,
I would say-
your best guess.
my best guess is, knowing my luck, no.
Okay.
That I will be with you. You needed me, that's just the
No, I
way.
understand.
Yeah,
All right. Let me ask you a question this way. Assuming the call comes, and I know the lawyers asked, is there anyone else in your family? I know that maybe, because obviously I'm not going to let you or anyone put their loved one at risk,
right,
who could be available to accompany your mother to the procedure if it is needed within the next 3 weeks.
and then I could go down and see if my brother would come.
Oh, you'll be able to see your mom at night and in
Yes.
the morning. Yes, ma'am. You're going to be able to see your mom.
Okay, well, he just have to come, my brother will come,
All right. And he's the one in Carolina.
North Carolina, but he works from home, so he could work from here and do it for a while. And I have an aunt here, it's just that she has her own, and she has a brother here. And I'm sure that they would do what's necessary.
But if you are, now we're not there yet, but if you were selected to serve as jury, and I'm just using that period at the time, could you devote your full attention to listening to the evidence that comes from this witness stand and the instruction that I will give you during the course of the trial, and focus on that, because this is, like all cases, very important, without being distracted, thinking about your mom may need a pacemaker, and I'm asking you to defer when you get your, defend your dissertation.
I believe in the system, and I think that if you don't have good people, it's going to fail. So I would make myself do what's necessary.
Any follow-up questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
You just follow the instruction of the clerk, please.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Position of the state,
This juror is acceptable to the state, Your Honor.
defense.
Acceptable to the defense, Your Honor.
And while the next juror is coming, the lawyers approach for a quick second.
Yes, yes, yeah.
All right, we're back on the record. All right, sure. Ms. Collins?
You missed
Ms. Green, I'm sorry. Ms. Hill?
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, state has no questions up to 6. We have the agreement.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Strictly from the questionnaire.
Thank you. This follow the instruction of the clerk. That'll be Collins.
Yeah.
Ms. Hill?
Juror number 7, I'd like to ask you a few follow-up questions from your answers this morning. I think you indicated that you had formed an opinion regarding the guilt or innocence of the defendant in this case. Is that?
No, that's not the one I raised my hand to.
Okay, so as you stand here today, you don't have an opinion one way or another?
No, not at all.
Okay. You also indicated, I believe, that you have changed an answer
Oh, yes.
since Friday.
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us what that was?
Oh, that's about, I wasn't sure about my brother was arrested for DUI, and I just want to make sure. And I think my nephew, I don't know what he was arrested for, other than that.
Okay, so you want to tell us that your brother has been or had been arrested?
Has been,
Okay. And your nephew as well?
yes.
Were you involved to the extent where you went to court with them or?
No. That's out of state.
Okay,
Well, my nephew is in Georgia, but my brother's out of state.
okay. Anything about what happened with either your brother or your nephew that you've learned about, say, in discussions with them, that might affect your opinion to sit as a fair and impartial juror if you're selected?
No.
Okay. I think you told us that you know a person.
No, not me. I didn't raise my hand for that. I only raised my hand for number 1 question, and the first question the judge asked, and I raised my hand for the one about the one I'm supposed to change.
That's it. You didn't raise your
No,
hand
I
about a
didn't.
mental illness.
Oh, yes, I was sorry.
Okay.
Oh, my sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law?
Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
I did raise my hand for that.
And I could have been wrong, but I did have it down in my notes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, you were correct.
All right. So your sister-in-law?
Yeah.
And can you give us a little bit more information about the type of disorder she suffers
She
from?
has mental imbalance. or
Okay.
something like that.
And can you have you ever witnessed?
No.
Her
She
imbalance?
was in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I was really down around
All right.
when she was in,
All right. In your questionnaire, you told us that you are retired.
yes.
From what?
I worked at Prudential in New Jersey.
In Newark, New Jersey?
Yes, I did.
What did you do for Prudential?
I was a data entry operator, plus I did various other jobs.
Okay. And you've been in DeKalb for 19 years. All right. I think you told us also that your brother has been through a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything,
No, no
about-
problem, take it from here, no problem.
no problems, okay.
And that wasn't here either, that was in New Jersey.
That was in New Jersey, okay. And just to reiterate, you actually indicated in your questionnaire as well that you are familiar with this case, but the very next question you indicated that you have not formed an opinion. Is that correct?
No, like I said, the TV was on and it was on the other trials.
Mhm.
And no, I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't get involved.
Okay, so if you are selected to sit as a juror in this case, do you believe you could be fair and impartial? All right, great, thank you. No further
Mr.
questions, Judge.
Clinton, if you could remain standing, so the defense can ask questions. Thank you.
Several things, ma'am. First off, in response to Ms. Hill's question, you said you were familiar essentially with the previous trial. Is that correct?
Right, it was, the TV was on and it was, you know, I watched it, but as far as getting involved in the trial, you know, interest, no.
Okay. Did you, the name of the individual in the previous trial, the defendant in the previous trial, was contained in the questionnaire. Prior to that, did you even know this guy's name?
No,
Okay. Did you actually watch any of the trial as it was occurring?
no,
Would you have just seen news reports during the evening?
yes,
Okay. And based on that, did you form any opinion as to the guilt of the man who was previously on trial?
no, because I didn't watch it enough to give my opinion.
Okay. So basically, neither in that case nor in this one do you have an opinion simply because you don't know all of the facts, correct?
I don't know all the facts and I don't have an opinion.
Okay, and you would wait to hear all of the facts before you would have an opinion. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I would.
You had indicated you had been a party to a lawsuit at some point in the past. What was that about?
My husband got killed in his job.
Okay, and were you the plaintiff in the lawsuit? You were the one bringing the lawsuit?
Yes.
Okay, did it actually go to trial?
No, it didn't.
So it was settled out of court?
Yes.
Were you satisfied with the resolution?
Well, yes, I was, because only thing I wanted was my husband's salary. Other than that, beyond that, I really it didn't matter to me.
Okay, so pretty much your demands or requests were met, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You also indicated you had been the victim of a burglary at some point in the past. How long ago would that have been, ma'am?
That's almost 40 years ago.
Okay.
It was in California.
Okay, so that's not something that would have any effect on your ability to sit as a fair and impartial juror in this case?
No.
Okay. I don't believe I have anything else. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
State,
Juror 7 is acceptable to the state judge.
defense.
We have no objection, Your Honor. You're acceptable.
Ms. Hill.
Yes, Judge. Juror 8. I'd like to ask you a few follow-up questions. Let's see, you told us that you have a potential conflict in your schedule. And you also indicated in the questionnaire that you had a work trip scheduled from the 19th of August to the 23rd?
Well, actually, I was on the 17th.
From the 17th?
Yeah, 17th through the 23rd. I
Okay.
forgot I was going out a couple days early to see my brother.
Well, that was actually going to be my question. Is it a work trip that cannot be rescheduled?
It's already paid for.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
prepaid.
so I've already booked it. Actually, I have the receipt in my bag, just in case you need my itinerary.
I'm assuming you can't get a refund on that.
No, we don't buy those trips.
Okay. So, obviously.